So last year, my friends and I, we went traveling around Southeast Asia. It was for around 3 to 4 months, I'd say. And I started in Vietnam, went to Indonesia, Bali for like 4 days, don't ask why. Went to Cambodia after that. Then I went to Thailand. Then I met some of my family in Malaysia. And as I'm sure you can expect, it was like such a good time. It was the most unreal 3 4 month period of my life. I've met so many people from so many different places around the world, made so many memories, made so many new friends who were just from all over the world, and we all met halfway across the world from where I live, which is just like bizarre to me. And overall, it definitely smashed expectations. But as I'm sure you can tell from the title of this video, this isn't going to be some epic biopic about how awesome my travels were. I want to delve more into the negatives of traveling. And aside from the potential liver damage, or you may have put the pounds on after coming back, these negatives only become apparent once you're back home. The obvious one is money. Like, I came back broke. I mean, obviously I saved up a lot of money to go there, and what else was I expecting? I spent all the money there. So, you know what I mean? I wasn't expecting to come back a millionaire for some reason. And I'm not saying my situation currently is dire. Like, it is far from being anything bad. Like, I'm not on the streets begging. I'm not recording this video from the Apple store on like one of the fucking like display phones or anything. You know what I mean? I'm currently still living at my mum's house, which is a big privilege to me. So yeah, but it's just not a very nice feeling. And I'd say I'm only just starting to recover from this debt I put myself in after coming back from Southeast Asia. And now for the bigger one. Although I may have progressed as a person out there, I came back and sort of realised I hadn't progressed in life at all. And you may argue that progressing as a person is better than progressing in life. Like, for example, I came back and I was definitely more confident. I was less autistic in some social situations. I'd say I was definitely more outgoing. If you were to say progressing as a person is more important than progressing at life, I wouldn't call you an idiot for saying so. And I would agree with you on a certain level. But for me right now, I'm currently 23. These years of my life in my early 20s are going to be pivotal in my later life, depending on how I conduct myself now. The fact of the matter was, I came back from traveling and I hadn't done anything in like 4 months. I hadn't worked on any businesses, I hadn't started any new projects or even carried on with any projects. Or like, I hadn't even tried to begin a career in something. And essentially I came back and I was just a slob. Like, my mate who's into construction, he was like building a patio around his house, and he offered me a couple of days of work there. And obviously it was very like physically demanding. Like, I was moving like rubble around all day to form like the foundation of this patio. I was dead by halfway through the day. Like, I could barely hack it. And I was working with my younger brother, and he was outdoing me. Like, I literally gave up because I was so unfit. And I hope those outlines how much of like nothing I got up to really when traveling. Yeah, it just really stagnated any momentum I had beforehand. And I'm not saying I had some sort of like multi-million-dollar business in the works before I went to Asia. I want to outline how little work I did whilst I was out there. But as previously stated, I did develop as a person. So you could say it did live up to the whole go and find yourself cliche, as fucking gay as it sounds. But yeah. And this brings me on nicely to my next point. And this is another reason why a lot of people go traveling. And they state it's because they want to indulge themselves in the culture or experience the culture, so to speak. And spoiler alert, at least from my experience of other people there, and obviously my own actions, I didn't really experience much of the culture over there. And I'll use Thailand as an example. And Thailand is like, when you think of Southeast Asia, Thailand probably springs to mind first. It's the most commercial place in Southeast Asia. It is like, there are so many tourists there. And all those tourists are British people. And as I'm sure you can know from my accent, me, myself, I am British. So I didn't have many problems with this, as because, you know what I mean, we all spoke the same language. We all sort of got on because, you know what I mean, we're from home. We're from the same place we all call home. But I really had expectations of meeting people from different places, like Europe, America, even like Africa. I don't know, just somewhere different, but literally everyone you met was just British or Irish, basically. And this comes with many pros and cons. I already outlined a few, that being we automatically get on quite well. The banter's similar. They understand sarcasm. Like, I feel like if you said a sarcastic comment to a German person, for example, they'd actually look at you in disbelief as if you just killed their like whole family and they've not realised what you've just said is a completely sarcastic remark. But I mean, there's no shame in that, but that is literally just British humor. It is so sarcastically driven for some reason. But on the other hand, because everyone there was British, it ended up being one massive piss up slash like lads holiday basically. And when you break it down, it was a glorified trip to the pub, but we're in Thailand where the weather was beautiful. And because there was an abundance of British people there, you didn't really get to experience much of the culture. I felt like it was very diluted down to the point where the Thai people were really accommodating for tourism, and that might have came in the format of them serving like a full English on the menu and stuff like that. But apart from that, yeah, we did like do some touristy shit, such as like we went sightseeing, we went to a lot of temples, we did some classes like Muay Thai classes and whatnot. Sadly, I passed up on the cooking classes. I'm not sure how much I regret or don't regret doing it, but whatever, can't cry over spilled milk sort of thing. But I'd say the highlight was really renting out the mopeds, and this was more on the islands down in the south of Thailand. My two other friends and I, we'd just rent these mopeds out and we do a loop of the island. Like we plan this route out and we do this whole loop where we stop at some viewpoints. I'll throw some photos up now, but like we stop at viewpoints, stop at a few bars on the way. And yeah, it was just so nice. And obviously like you're just riding these mopeds like on a fucking like remote island in Thailand. It was like unreal. But to put it plain and simple, it felt like we were just doing the touristy shit, so we didn't feel guilty about just like getting blackout drunk every night. And I feel that's what everyone else was doing as well, seeing as everyone else, you'd see the same people every night as getting blackout drunk. I want to give an example of how the abundance of tourism in places such as Thailand really diluted the culture down. And as I said before, it sort of felt like the Thai locals were accommodating for tourism. So like they weren't really like displaying their culture as much as they possibly could have, sort of thing. And I want to give an example of the events being hosted in these popular destinations for travellers. And the one that springs to mind, which you may well have heard of, is the Full Moon Party. This is in Thailand, basically. But going into it, I thought like a Full Moon Party was a massive Thai sort of culture thing. But I mean, with the one we went to, which is the one everyone goes to if you're travelling there, there was nothing Thai about that party whatsoever. It is just a bunch of British people and maybe Irish people getting pissed up on a beach in Thailand, basically. And I mean, the origins of it may well have been Thai, but everything that is Thai about that place has just been diluted down to a piss up between British people. And don't get me wrong, I went to it and it was pretty good fun. That's just my take on it. And now this probably begs the question, Matt, surely you've just done travelling incorrectly. Like based on all your accounts, you must have done travelling incorrectly. And you could argue yes, I guess, and you could also argue no. The yes being we didn't really experience the culture as much as we wanted to. The no being everyone else was doing what we were doing as well. So really, we were either all being correct or all being incorrect. So it was like a fucking like herd mentality thing, which I hate to say I might have fallen into. But I want to go over how to really get the most out of travelling. And the first thing that comes to mind really is just go to the places no one goes to. Like, as I said before, Southeast Asia is extremely commercial. For some reason, going into it, I thought I was part of some sort of like niche community where it would only be my friends and I in like that part of the world. I don't know why I thought this, but it turns out everyone who's within the realm of like 18 years old to like 25 just like wants to go traveling, and they end up going to Southeast Asia, I think. As I say, just go to places no one else goes to. And, you know what I mean? I don't mean like go to fucking like Mars. I just mean just go to some like European city which isn't like popular whatsoever. Like my brother recently went to some random city in the south of Italy where he just went on his own, chatted with some locals, indulged in some like local cuisine and everything. And yeah, it seemed like a really fun time. And like I can't recall where he went because I've never even heard of it. Not to say like my Italian geography is like off the charts or anything, but and I mean I've seen people go to like Kazakhstan. They're like riding horses through Kazakhstan, which just looks unreal. And this like brings me on to my next point about how to really do traveling correctly. And I think you should go somewhere where they speak a different language. Like, for example, I'd love to go to Germany. I think my German is somewhat competent for a British person. I remember a lot of German phrases from when we learnt it in school, despite my grade not even being that good. But I don't know, I just find the language like logical and some of the words to be quite funny, really. On top of this, going to a place where they speak a different language, you should really go solo traveling. I can't employ someone to go solo traveling more. I think this really throws you further into the deep end as well. And I'm not saying I was like, I'm some solo travel expert. Like, I was on my own in Southeast Asia for like 2.5 weeks out of like the 3 to 4 months, because like me and my friends had different plans and we split up. Like, oh, yeah, I know, we split up, we're gay. But I mean, the few times I was on my own, I really felt like I was indulging in the culture, and it truly felt like I was in Asia. And I mean, for example, when I was in Malaysia on my own, obviously I was staying with family, but more often than not, I was just going out on my own, exploring the city. And another time was when I was in Vietnam for like, I was on my own in Vietnam for like a week or so. And in this time, I went on some random hike with like the hostel, and it was just unreal. It felt like the ultimate side mission in Vietnam for some reason. Again, I'll throw up photos of the hike. It was like, it was insane. This idea of going solo traveling, from what I experienced, it was so liberating, because I don't want to state the obvious, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to state the obvious. Being on your own, no one is forcing you to do anything, but at the same time, no one is forcing you to do something. You can literally do whatever the fuck you want to. Being on your own in a different country, there is just so much uncharted territory to explore, so many new things to do, so many new things to experience, and you can just choose which things you want to do or not want to do. And there is just something so liberating about this, and I can't explain it fully. All I can say is, go and try it yourself. Now I want to move on to how to do traveling incorrectly. And I know what you're thinking, like, oh, you've already explained how to do traveling incorrectly. Like, just recall back your experience of going traveling. And no, that wouldn't be funny. And I did traveling really correctly. But the first country that comes to mind when I think of doing traveling incorrectly, it would be the country Australia. It really pains me to say this, because I know a lot of people who have gone to Australia. I'm not sure if they're working or if they've saved up money to go and staying for a bit. But, like, it just isn't my cup of tea. And I'll go into why, but British people and Australian people, we have a very unique relationship. And I mean, us Brits, we love Australians. Like, we think the accent's cool and all that stuff. And Australians love British people for the same reasons. And why would you not want to go to Australia as a British person? Like, the culture's very similar. They understand the banter. There's a big pub culture, I guess. And the weather's nice. Like, I'm currently sat at home in Britain where it's been raining for the past week. And if we get a day above 15 degrees Celsius, it's like a celebration. Like, there'll be like one in every like 4 people on my street will be having a barbecue. It's crazy. Yeah, for me, going to Australia would seriously be delaying responsibilities and the work that needs doing, such as like projects, or even just building a career. And from the looks of things, from the people who are out in Australia right now and what they've been posting on their social medias, it does seem like one just constant party. Like, I always see someone who's just going out on a random like Tuesday or just Wednesday night, and it's like 3 a.m. over there, just they're full on club mode, and it's crazy. Like, I've been to uni, and that was a constant party, and I feel like I'm just done with that. Like, I just wouldn't be able to do it anymore. I think it gets to the point where it's just been the same old, same old. And towards the end of uni, I was really feeling that. Like, I just couldn't go to clubs as much anymore, because you're hearing the same fucking music every time you go, and you're just spunking like 50 quid every time. Like, I've never came back from a night out and said like, yeah, I'm so happy I spent all that money on the night out. But yeah, that's just my take on Australia and everything. And despite it seeming like I've just completely shat on the whole like go traveling idea, I would still recommend it to anyone. But you have to realize it is like a double-edged sword. And on one side of the sword, it is one of the few times you'll be able to do it in your lifetime, especially if you're young with such like little responsibilities. Like, just go and do it. And another thing, and this was the main reason why I went, it sort of dawned on me that going traveling, it would be the only time in my life probably where my friends and I would be halfway around the world in the same place at the same time together. And I just think, if you have that opportunity, you're just dumb to pass up on that. Like, the memories I've made there with my friends and I, I'm never going to forget them ever. And of course, another like pro is that you're going to meet loads of people and you're going to make like so many memories, as I already said. But on the other hand, as I said before, you're going to come back broke. Unless like you end up staying there and working there, you're going to come back with like a very small amount of money in your bank. Like, when I was there, a lot of the countries there, they only do cash. It's very rare you pay with cards over there. And naturally, you're going to take cash out of these ATMs all the time. And it was so depressing just seeing my balance just slowly go down and down and down. It never went up once. Like, all that hard-earned money I'd worked for like about a year before going traveling, I just slowly watched it depreciate over time. And yeah, it just wasn't a very nice thing to see. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess I paid for the experience and I don't regret it, I guess. But the one that I've already been over as well, which really like stung me, was that I made such little progress with anything. And I'm only just now really finding my feet with what I want to do with myself again. And lastly, although it was fun, it just was like a massive lads holiday piss up thing. And then finally, you may be asking, would I do it again? And to this, I definitely say yes. However, I would tweak it a bit. To start with, I wouldn't go for 3 months. Like, by the end of my time there, my social battery was just completely drained. I was having the same conversations with like similar sort of people, and like the conversation would go, yo man, like what's your name, how old are you, where are you from, where have you been, and where you go next, and that was it. And like after a while you just can't be asked to have this conversation again. Like it was lucky I was with my friends, because I mean like we're friends, we can probably talk about like cloud formations and still like have a good time. But yeah, I like towards the end of it, it just felt like I was really like just pushing off having these conversations, and like if anything, I was becoming a bit antisocial, which goes against everything traveling's for. Like you're meant to go there and socialize. So instead of going for 3 months, I would probably just do a month max. Like I think that's just like the sweet spot, especially if you're traveling far across the world. Yeah, that's the thing with traveling or just going on holiday in general. It will always be fun. It's a great way to relieve stress. Just do it in moderation. There's a reason why workplaces offer holidays. You know what I mean? Like it's essential for humans to have time off, sort of thing, and escape from their just general life. And if I was going to do traveling again, I would definitely do part of it solo, like a lot more than what I did previously solo. And that's what I wanted to outline about going traveling. As I said before, like seriously, it is so fucking fun. Go and book that flight. You'll only regret not doing it. Like our lives are so insignificant compared to how vast this world is going to be. And I think it'll be a shame in the one life that we are given that we don't spend time exploring the world and traveling and meeting new people. I think it would just be a great shame if that were to go to waste. I just want to outline in this video how going traveling isn't going to solve your problems. Like it might add comfort to your life. You might learn new things about yourself. But for me personally, if I were to do another 3 month excursion, I need to have my shit sorted out back at home first. And that's what I want you guys to think about if you are planning on going traveling. Just think about the position you're going to be in once you come back home. And that's all I've got to say for this video. And I'll see you guys soon.